can't shake the feeling that I'm just bad at healing. The artist is Billie Eilish. Welcome to episode 11 of Album Armageddon! Welcome to episode 11 of Album Armageddon. I'm your host, Cy Stevens, and joining me as always are my beautiful co-hosts. She really makes a strong impression. It's Cath McCauley.
I thought you were going to say Stu just then. Hello.
Oh no, I've got a very well for that, Stu. And get his pretty name out of your mouth. It's Stu Whitehouse.
Watcha.
How are you both?
Oh, good.
Yep,
Good.
Very good, thank you.
Very good.
So, what is Album Armageddon? Well, you know the drill by now. Album Armageddon is where we take two albums from a single band or artist, pair the tracks up, and discuss and decide on a winner for each track. These winning tracks then form the artist's super album on Spotify, but what you might not know is if you search for Album Armageddon on Facebook, you'll find a whole community of like-minded listeners steered in the direction of chat and shenanigans by our own community manager, Emma Garrett. You might even find us posting something every now and then. Every now and then. We also have some very important rules, and they are: rule number 1, albums must have the same number of tracks in order for them to be matched up, so on occasion there will be some creative licensing for this to happen, but that will always follow a strict criteria that we won't get into here, but we'll explain if and when we need to. Rule number 2, no live, arena or stadium tracks or remixes. These are normally found elsewhere on the album in question or on a previous album. Also, no interludes or skits, but again, more on that if it happens. Rule 3, an album can only arrive in Armageddon once. The same goes for artists, unless a strong and genuine argument can be given for them to feature a second time. Unless they're the wedding present. Rule 4, the host who chose the artist can use the Napalm Death card, which allows them to declare a track the winner, regardless of the voting result. However, this can only be used during the discussion of a track, and can only be used once per show. Now, this is very much a passion and fun podcast, and whilst we do go into some of the intricacies of the tracks, and occasionally the key of the song and such like, you will mainly get our thoughts, our feelings, and occasionally stories of ours around the songs, quite often in jest, mainly because it's not us that are earning multi-millions from these songs.
No.
Although, we would probably like to.
Mm-hmm.
So, Billy, if you're listening, a few quid this way would be good. As such, we do get passionate and drop the occasional swear word, but don't worry, Stu fixes all variations of but lets all other sweary words through so we can say bum and willy if the need arises.
They're acceptable.
They are acceptable. So now, all of that out the way, as our intro said, this month is Billie Eilish, and the albums are When We All Fall Asleep, Where Do We Go? Versus Happier Than Ever, which was Cath's choice. So, Cath, why Billie Eilish and why those albums? Well, I can know why those albums. There's not a lot to
I think she said you got those 2 albums at the moment.
Three now.
3 albums now. Okay. But yeah, she doesn't have too many albums to choose from. And I think these were the most popular albums when I was listening to her stuff on Spotify. So why Billie Eilish is basically because I've been aware of her for some time, but not really listened to any of her music until I saw her perform at Glastonbury last year, and was quite surprised with what I heard and saw. So I was expecting her to be like one of those other sort of, I don't know, teenage sort of American female singers, and they sing in a particular style, and she wasn't like that at all. So it sort of piqued my interest. And yeah, I thought this would be a great opportunity to listen to her albums and learn a bit more about her. So let me tell you a bit more about her. She comes from a very musical family. Her mum writes songs, her dad plays instruments, and her brother Phineas is her songwriting partner and collaborator on music and live shows. They were both homeschooled as well, Billy and Phineas, and Billy had the freedom to delve into songwriting from a young age. She wrote her first song with Phineas when she was just 11 years old, which was quite sweet. Her musical achievements and accolades are that at the 2020 Grammys, Billie became the youngest person ever to win all 4 major awards in one night. So she won the Best New Artist, Song of the Year, Record of the Year, and Album of the Year, which is very impressive.
How old was she again? 15?
She's probably about 15, yeah.
Did you say Song of the Year and Record of the Year?
I did say that.
What's the difference?
I have no idea. I didn't research that too much.
That kind of feels like the same thing.
It does, doesn't it? Anyway, she's the first artist born in the 2000s to have a number one album and the youngest female artist to ever have a number one album in the UK. And beyond the music, her signature oversized clothing isn't just a fashion statement. She's spoken about wanting to avoid body shaming and feeling comfortable on stage. So there are your Billie facts.
Good on her.
Exactly.
One other Billie fact that you didn't have there is the reason for our clue last month about the pirate that has has headlined Glastonbury. Billie's middle name is actually Pirate.
Oh, okay.
No, R.
R.
Not R.
I did not know that.
Oh, yeah, this is going to be just fact.
Fantastic.
Yeah, we're going to have to stand off Simon's feet here and just like... fantastic.
So of the first tracks that we're going to be talking about, we've got Bad Guy and Getting Older.
Okay, before we jump in there, I'm going to hit you with the creative licensing for this month. So, in order for the tracks to match up, we've performed our creative licensing, and we have now got strict rules on how this works, so that it's more uniform, more fair, let's say. So, the first thing we do is we obviously take out no skits, interludes, remixes, or live tracks. That's part of our rules, we know this. When We Fall Asleep has a 13-second skit at the start, which we reducing it to 13 songs. Happier Than Ever starts with 16 songs, has no skits, interludes, remixes, or live tracks. It has no tracks less than a minute long, which is the next thing we remove. So in order to match up, using our new uniformed rules, we just removed the 3 lowest stream songs of the album on Spotify, which were Goldwing with 116 million streams. Not My Responsibility.
At all.
Oh, yeah. Not My Responsibility with 98 million, and Overheated with also just over 98 million. And then that brings us into a 13-track battle.
Okay, and to begin this 13-track battle, we're starting with Bad Guy and Getting Older.
Well, it's a track to start with, isn't it?
So, Bad Guy, a few facts about that. So, Billie was inspired by the theme song of the teen sitcom Wizards of Waverly Place. That famous one that everybody knows.
Sounds Nickelodeon-ish, doesn't it?
It does a little bit. The video game music of Plants and Zombies. Her brother Phineas co-wrote and produced the song. There's a version featuring Justin Bieber that was also released. Bad Guy became a global phenomenon, topping charts worldwide and propelling Eilish into superstardom. The song has won numerous awards, including a Grammy nomination for Song of the Year. So, Bad Guy, guess what? She's the bad guy.
You've been waiting to say that, haven't you?
It's classified as electropop, dance pop, and trap pop. What the hell that is. The song has got a minimalist yet catchy and dark feel with heavy bass and whispered vocals by Eilish. That pretty much all of her songs. It's just that sort of thing. That you kind of get used to after a while. I kind of like the moodiness of the bass riff, contrasting with the cheeky keyboard melody. So yeah, it's quite a crowd pleaser, that one. I've given that an 8 out of 10. Versus Getting Older. I couldn't think of a scale, so it's just 8 out of 10. It could be 8 Billies out of 10, I don't know. Yeah. Getting Older. So the critics praise the song's power as an opening track and its ability to connect with listeners despite the complexities of fame. And despite the dark themes, the song resonates with listeners because it touches on universal experiences like growing up, losing innocence, and dealing with expectations. Okay, so I wonder what this one's going to sound like. So despite the somewhat serious subject matter that Billie sings about, the melody of the song seems fairly upbeat and jovial, certainly during the first part. It carries quite a childlike and whimsical quality to it as well, I thought. The combination of contrasting elements makes for quite a pleasant and enjoyable listen. The light-hearted tune creates a sense of innocence and simplicity that contrasted with the deeper themes of the lyrics. And I thought it was quite interesting, but I think because Bad Guy is sort of one of the most well-known tracks, which got 8 out of 10. Getting Older was fine, but not quite as good, so I gave it a 6 out of 10. Si, what did you think?
Right, well, I mean, I've never really seeked out or listened to Billie Eilish, but my daughter absolutely loved Bad Guy, and I want to say it was a TikTok hit.
Okay.
Around COVID, just before COVID type place. And I remember seeing her at Glastonbury like yourself and thought the crowd were really into it. And we confirmed this when we pretty much recorded our Headliners episode. That might or might not be a spoiler, depending on both our release speed and when this episode's being listened to. And I kind of know she did a Bond theme, but other than that, I heard very little. So it's like the big songs I kind of either knew or they must be in some of her songs are in my subconscious without me knowing it. Because this, as we go through this, I had periods of going, I know this from somewhere, but I don't remember hearing, this is the latest song from Billie Eilish. But anyway, digressing there. Bad Guy, 5th single off of the album, which again blew my mind that it was the 5th single because it kind of felt like her first single in the UK.
Yeah.
Versus Getting Older, which didn't have a single release at all. Bad Guy, let's start off pleasing the fact fans. The hi-hat during the instrumental section is actually not a hi-hat, but rather the pedestrian crossing sound in Australia when it makes me
really
across.
You took my fact.
I took your fact, sorry. Obviously, as I said, we gave some love to this track recently on our Glastonbury episode. And I'm not going to say whether it made the cut there that time or not. Bad Guy was probably, like so many others, my first introduction to Billie, just because that's the one that I remember hearing first, especially in the UK. Initially, I hated it with its like cartoony carnival instrumental bridge after it's now infamous Duh.
Yeah.
But it's a song that I've actually grown to really like. It's got a catchy bass intro, the whispering layered vocal verses with an interesting combination of finger clicks and hand claps. Everyone loves a hand clap.
Yeah, who doesn't?
Then the track kind of breaks down into like a super, super slow affair for the last 30 seconds. And I really like the bass stabs when that happens. Getting Older is such a different everything. It's a different Billie, it's a different album opener. As the title suggests, she's getting older and more mature. Billie's good at giving a performance where you could believe she's reflecting on an argument after bawling her eyes out. And I kind of absolutely love this Billie, as well as the bouncing all over the stage, having the time of her life Billie. There are lots of Billies, although I'm not sure there is a Hawaiian Billie.
I knew that was coming.
There should be.
There is very little percussion in the track. It's just a simple keyboard, organ, bass stab throughout, and it's her vocal delivery that both carries the song and determines the melody. By that, I mean, you get some songs that the music provides the melody and the words fit into it. So, but if you heard an instrumental version, you could still hear the lyrics even though they're not there. This type of song isn't that, and the music is literally just there to complement Billie's delivery. So, I mean, it's hard because I do love both tracks, but obviously for very different reasons. I think it'd be a shame for people not to hear Billie's ability on Getting Older, but I also think it would be a travesty if you don't include what is quite possibly Billie's signature song.
Yeah.
As an album opener, I think Bad Guy just edges it.
Okay. Stu?
Right. I'll delve a little bit about my history of Billie. I have never heard any Billie songs until this. My kids don't really listen to Billie, and if they do, they haven't said anything. I have not seen anything on TV about her. I knew her name, but I didn't know anything about her. So coming into this review of the two albums, or track by track battle, whatever, it's just been confusing and enlightening and rewarding. And, and she's a fantastic artist, don't get me wrong. However, coming from I'd never heard her before. I've never heard any songs. All these are completely new to me. Every single song is fresh to me.
Okay.
I have no idea how she's so famous. I don't understand, because the formula. I mean, and what that makes it more fantastic that the world isn't actually properly broken, because she deserves to be where she is. But really, the kind of publicity or the kind of fame she has, it's like somebody, like a normal pop star, like the Madonnas and, all those kind of throwaway pop music kind of thing. Yes, they're good, but, just don't think about it, like the Katy Perrys and all that. She hasn't got one song like them at all. To be fair, I don't even know how you dance to her songs. No idea. I'm listening. I've listened to the albums, really like every single track. Well, yeah, in a way. Really great. No idea how people... I don't understand how she even got this big. But it's awesome that she did, and I love it for that. So that means there's hope in the world for everybody.
Yeah.
I think when you consider how big she's got, I think you've got to give, is it Phineas or Phineas? Phineas a lot of credit as well, because I think he's a bit of an unsung hero in this.
Yeah.
A brother.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, well, they're as well, it's just having a name on there, but they are the double act. I don't think she would not be able to. There'll be a very different sound without him. Let's just say, because he's got a very good ear, and if you listen to the albums on headphones, there's so
little tweaks,
minute, tiny little things you can just dive into, which you may not have heard the first time, but when you go back and back, it's like, oh God, he's done that and done that. So it's really quite special in that sense. Also, I'd like to put a bridge on this. She was born in 2001.
Oh, okay.
I am so bloody old.
Her
2000.
Her year doesn't start with a 19.
I've put 6 exclamation marks after that, by the way. That's how much I'm shocked by it. I mean, she's a blooming genius. She was 15 and she wrote something of that caliber, and a brother produced. I mean, is a brother older? A brother's slightly older.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, but like something of that caliber.
Not hugely older, I don't think, though. It's not.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, and it's just absolutely incredible. So I've had mine's probably been a completely different perspective to everybody else's, because I say I was a fresh play. I have no idea or anything about it was. So anyway, back to the actual songs. I'm sorry about that little. I thought I need to drop those in so like people knew where I was coming from on this one. Bad Guy, remember? Never heard this song in my entire life, and this apparently is her biggest song.
Really?
Yep, never heard it before. It's a bit like when Cath said, what was the band that you said you never heard of before, which completely shocked us?
Oh,
it doesn't matter. Yeah, it was a past episodes,
I've
guys.
not heard of them.
Anyway, so great bass line. I really enjoyed the bass line. And the bass at the end is really fantastic, but you really do need headphones to listen to this song to understand all the little intricacies of how much production work went into this one song. But one thing I have noticed with all of the songs, there's no real hook. There's no real, and I like this. This is not a criticism. This is, to me, this is actually giving lots of brownie points. There's no instrumental break.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think instrumental breaks can be corny. More times than not, they are corny. But I like that it's. I suppose it's a little bit like Eminem. It's just like constant
Delivery.
lyrics. Just keep on going, and it's a good story, and she's really, for her age and writing this album, her lyrical skills are just brilliant. You know, those pen skills as well. Getting older, music is really simple, but it really works. You know, it's just like, it reminds me of like a little nursery rhyme kind of song. It's odd, and the lyrics are well crafted, and it's a really honest song as well. God, you read the lyrics and they're like, wow. It's like quite. Actually, a lot of her stuff is like that. Really, she does a lot of love songs, but they are quite harsh as well. So I'm going to pick Bad Guy. Which is the unanimous, by the way. I think that's on that one.
Yeah.
Only because to me, it just sounds the fresher one. I don't know.
It's certainly the more memorable.
Yeah. So anyway, so sorry for my long blah blah blah, but that's my vote.
Right,
So.
bad guy it is. Right, so the next songs we've got Xanny versus I Didn't Change My Number. So Xanny, the title is a reference to the prescription drug Xanax, commonly used for anxiety treatment, but also misused recreationally. The song was inspired by an experience Eilish had with a group of friends who were heavily intoxicated, and the backing vocals in the bridge are actually the first half of another song on the album, Goodbye. And then we've got I Didn't Change My Number. So this song tackles moving on from a past relationship. Billie sings about gaining confidence and no longer caring about this person who had previously had a hold on her. Described as sassy and rebellious with a catchy beat, the lyrics are more direct compared to some of Billie's other songs, and the song features some interesting samples, growls and barks. These come from Billie's pet pitbull, Shark. So, Stu, over to you. What do you think of these two tracks?
I like both of them, but I do prefer one than the other. Right, so Xanny, I have a problem with this song, and this is I know it's intentional, so it is very obviously subjective whether you like it or not. But I don't like the way they've over distorted parts of it because it's not comfortable to listen to. It feels like they've just whacked up the game far too loud, and it distorts. I mean, I understand why they've done it, but it also sounds, in my opinion, not very good, and it ruins the track, to be fair, in that sense. But the end of the song, very effective. It all goes really well. As you say, it's about anti-prescription drug, anti-anxiety prescription drug. Oh, I've got a fact.
Ooh.
Speaking to The Guardian, Annie should explain that she's never done recreational drugs of any kind herself. Quote, I never got high. I've never smoked anything in my life. I don't give a fuck. I never have, she said. It's just not interesting to me. I have other shit to do. So,
Fine.
Now, that was back then. I mean, she could be, like, snorting all sides of shit at the moment. I have no idea.
I mean,
but,
it's really,
game on to her.
It's interesting that she says that because her sort of trademark look is that sort of sleepy, sort of closed eyelids.
Stonery look.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I also like the fact that it's like, can I get a medal for not taking drugs?
Well, yeah, I suppose. I mean, it's also a good message. I mean, she knows that her fan base is very, very young, which is odd as well.
Yeah.
Being as a parent as well, like, I don't know what the age range, but I'd be happy, like, would I be happy my 9-year-old child listening to some of the content that she's got? But I don't know. Again, each to their own, they have to figure that one out for themselves. Right, so I Don't Change My Number. It's actually quite a good song about an ex. I quite like it. I really like the keyboard sound. It's not Hammond, but it's not. It's in that area. It's in that area, but it's very simple and very effective. And I really like the build up as well. Oh, it reminds me of a little bit like Lily Allen as well. There's like little bits of it, the way she like sings it, and she sings it in like kind of a child kind of way. It's like, I don't know, so like some of the lyrics, the way she delivers them is like, and I quite like it. I mean, I can imagine it grating on somebody, but I quite like that one. So I'm going for I Didn't Change My Number, because I thought that one's the better one of the two. It's the distortion of Xanny. No.
Okay. Sai, what did you think?
What did I think? DC previous host note for details. Xanny, well, you're talking about, like, do you want to let your 9-year-old go to... You don't want to let your 9-year-old watch her videos.
No.
Because, fuck me, this is a hard watch, this one.
Yeah.
I mean...
And how many videos has she got?
I mean,
quite a few.
Yeah.
But
I mean, this one's basically people putting cigarettes out on her face.
Mm.
And it's like, that's a hard watch. It's a lot slower song than Bad Guy as well. But when, that's what it follows, effectively, on the album. But when the drums and bass line kick in, it's more in keeping with some of her more popular tracks. And yeah, I'm exactly the same as you shoot. There's an effect put on everything when you get to the chorus. And it's literally on everything. And I think it's probably to replicate her being on Xanax.
Yeah, exactly. And I understand where they're going with it. But it's like,
my notes are, I think it's a little overused. It's on fucking everything. Her vocals, the drums, the bass, fucking everything. If it was just on the music or just on her vocals, it would have worked so much better. But because they were
actually, her vocals, I think, would have been the best
Yeah.
one for it. Yeah.
It doesn't make me hate the song. It's just a real fucking niggle. I didn't change my number. Well, the song starts with Zool growling.
Shark.
Yeah, shark. Sorry, it's Zool. And how she delivers the line. This is what I think what you were talking about, Stu, was when she delivers the line, "And your best friend too,"
That's the one.
Reminds me of the. Have you seen the "I don't want to do the work today. I really didn't want to do the work today" meme? It's that. That's what I just kept thinking of when I was hearing it. And it's also got a weird effect at the end that kind of reminds me of an effect a sci-fi film would use if the character has been phased out of existence. But this time it's only on the music. They've obviously just pulled it back from putting it on everything. Both songs are good in their own right again. Maybe neither is quite as bouncy as Bad Guy or some of her other tracks, but they're very similar in delivery, production, things like that. Which makes it hard to choose a winner. I am going to go with I Didn't Change My Number, and that is just because of the niggly effect on Xanny. It's crazy that it's like one effect just overused.
Oh, yeah, it can totally put you off.
To be fair, I've only listened to this album on headphones, so maybe if I listen to it on normal speakers, may have been okay. Okay, fair enough.
No.
For the audience who can't see that size and shaking his head frantically.
Okay, so Xanny. So this is what I consider to be a Sunday afternoon song. The tempo's really slow, and I could just happily sort of just take a nap whilst this song is playing in the background. It's very relaxing to listen to. There's really nothing remarkable about it except the occasional distortion of the lyrics. I didn't think it was as good as Bad Guy, but it wasn't entirely unpleasant to listen to either. I actually didn't mind the distortion effect.
Okay. That's what I say. I know it was intentional and it's personal preference,
So, I gave that one 5 out of 10 because I just thought it was middle of the road, kind of average. So I didn't change my number. It was quite a sultry sounding song, although knowing about the dog sounds made me take it a lot less seriously. As with other tracks, there's an interesting distortion effect on this track, which added a sort of a more sort of modern electro feel to it. But it just, I don't know, it wasn't quite as interesting as Xanny. I really liked how mellow Xanny was and how I felt really relaxed listening to it. And I didn't change my number. It was absolutely fine as a song, but just, I enjoyed Xanny a bit more. So I'm going to go with Xanny. However, I'm not willing to use a Napalm Death card on it.
I was wondering if that was going to be a Napalm out
What's the score then you've given? I don't change my number.
So I gave Xanny 5 out of 10, and I didn't change my number. In fact, no, I voted for that one. I don't know what I'm talking about. I preferred I didn't change my number. That's weird. I gave it 6 out of 10.
Ooh.
Yeah, I don't know why, because I haven't read the notes. I think I definitely preferred Xanny when I was listening to it. So am I. I've gone for...
What do you like? What do you like?
They were both fine.
Still with it.
You guys preferred I didn't change my number. Let's go with that one.
Okay. But quite low scoring, really. I think 5 is, even though it's in the middle, it's a bit quite low, really, isn't it? But anyway, that's me.
Okay, so the next ones we've got You Should See Me in a Crown versus Billy Bossa Nova. So, You Should See Me in a Crown is a powerful and dark pop song that served as the lead single for her debut album When We Fall Asleep, Where Do We Go? The song's title was inspired by a line from the TV series Sherlock, where the villain Moriarty says, "Honey, you should see me in a crown." Although I'm not quite sure how he says it because I've not seen it. He might see it differently.
Oh, he's very, very camp, very...
Honey!
It's self-righteously said, I think, at the...
Right, okay. The song became a signature track for Eilish, introducing her dark, introspective style to a wider audience. It blends elements of electropop, trap, and hip-hop with a dark and minimalist soundscape, and the song features a heavy bass line, whispered and breathy vocals from Eilish, and a sense of building tension throughout. Billie Bossa Nova, so Phineas, who we know is her brother, and collaborator, created a beat in a bossa nova style and called it Billie Bossa Nova. The song itself came about a year and a half later. Inspired by touring life, the song explores a fictionalised and romanticised version of a pop star's life on tour, referencing the lengths they go to for privacy, like using freight elevators to avoid paparazzi. Phineas himself confirmed this with Rolling Stone. So I am going to go to you first, Si, for your thoughts.
No, don't go to me first. Go to Stu first.
No, I'm going to go you first.
Oh,
really? Okay. What, you don't want it, sorry?
I don't want to go first.
Okay, I'll go first.
Okay.
My notes are quite sparse on these two songs. So You Should See Me in a Crown. Yeah, obviously we've got the references to Sherlock Holmes.
Yeah. Yeah, honey.
Fact. I've got a fact. The opening sound on the track came about after Eilish heard her father sharpening knives in the kitchen. The singer and her brother loved how it sounded, so they asked the dad if they could make the noise again and record it. So her dad is actually a recording artist too.
Right, well there you go.
You've heard of people playing the spoons?
He's playing the knives. I do like the pulsating bass line as well in when she's singing "You Should See Me in a Crown." I think it's really effective as well. It works really well. I can't take any song with Bossa Nova in it seriously. I could be able to. All I think about is the Bon Tempi keyboard and the demo button and the Bossa Nova playing. And to be fair, it is that, but it is more than that. It is a lot more than that. And so I'm not going to take it away from the song. It's a good song. I am going to go for "See Me in a Crown." It is the better one. It's just the Bossa Nova thing. I can't. It's me. It's a personal thing. I just can't get myself.
It's
over
a Casio keyboard.
It is a Casio keyboard playing the Bossa Nova. Mm-hmm. It's not that, and trust me, it doesn't. Listeners, go listen to the song. I've just really slagged it off, and it's better than that. Trust
You're
me.
So rude.
But You Should See Me in a Crown sounds the better track in my opinion. So
okay. Right, Si, do you want to go now?
Yeah. Well, yeah, I kind of have to now. I've got to go through my notes here because you two have just destroyed my notes.
See, this is why you should
have
have gone
not said
first.
anything.
No.
Well, I mean, I just introduced it.
You just introduced it. You killed off some of my facts. I knew of "You Should See Me in the Crown" from the mobile game BeatStar, which is kind of a toilet game version of Guitar Hero on your mobile.
Oh, okay.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's a little tile clicky thing. Yeah.
Beat Saber?
No, BeatStar.
Okay, right.
Got the Sherlock Holmes facts. I mean, it's a calm start, which is joined by Billie's whispery vocals. We'll be mentioning her whispery vocals quite a lot in this episode. The bass drop kicks in, and we have a catchy chorus. I mean, I actually prefer the song over Bad Guy.
Okay.
I've often wondered what words are being said during there is a little musical interlude, and there is like some words being said, and I couldn't work out what they were, and I normally swap between One Spicy GoPro, which makes no sense whatsoever, and One Spicy To Go, which just sounds like a pizza order. But then Google was my friend, and it actually is One Classy Mofo, which, quite frankly, it's just not as funny. Billie Bossa Nova, I fucking hate that title.
It's horrible, isn't it?
Jeez,
it's horrible. Shit.
But when I heard the intro, I was thinking, are we doing something a little different? And yes, we are. The Bossa Nova in itself is one of the catchiest styles of music anyway, but then when you kind of put it with her almost ASMR, hypnotic, understated deliveries, it kind of goes to another level. And one thing I noticed with music on both of these albums is that the tracks are never that long. They're normally about 4 minutes maximum, bar I think 2 or 3. And that only often leaves you wanting more of that, but often Billie never revisits that style completely or that delivery completely again. And Billy Bossa Nova falls into that category. But this track back is what I love about our little podcast. I was never a huge listener to Billie Eilish before. I've now bought both of her albums, and these two tracks are a couple of my favourites.
Right.
And also been added to a couple of completely different playlists. It's so hard when it's two tracks you like going against each other. I'm not going to be sad what's voted for here, but I urge everyone to have a quick listen to whatever we don't pick. And I'm kind of waffling, as I still can't choose. This is why I wanted to go second, because I literally cannot choose still. And I was hoping like Stu's argument would have gone, yeah, that's the reason why. But I'm just going to be a dick, and I'm going to go the opposite to Stu just to make Cath decide. So
okay.
I'm going to go with
the dick move.
Billy Bossa Nova.
Okay, right. So you should see me in a crown. The style of this song has noticeable similarities to Bad Guy, which is a track that I quite liked for its unique and compelling sound. The chorus in particular stands out because it just has a bit of a cheeky and defiant feel to it, which adds an interesting layer to the overall composition. Yes, I'm getting quite fancy with my analysis. It's not hard to imagine this one becoming a crowd pleaser at gigs because it's got a catchy rhythm, and I thought the lyrics were quite engaging as well. Fans will likely appreciate the energy and attitude it brings to live performances, making it a memorable addition to any set list. 7 out of 10.
Ooh.
I quite liked that one. Billy Bossa Nova. So I like the cheesy Casio Bossa Nova feel to the song, and also
that's fine.
The finger snaps. I think she sings it well, but my attention was absolutely on the melody because it had sort of beach bar vibes. I'm sitting in the Mediterranean, I've got a cocktail, I'm relaxing. Yeah, I really liked that. I gave Billy Bossa Nova, I did like it, but I gave it 6 out of 10 because I just thought You Should See Me in a Crown just had something more interesting to it.
Yeah, I probably agree with you both though. I just didn't want to choose.
No, to be fair, both albums are good, so listen to both albums.
Yeah, they're both really good songs. Right then, so moving on to the fourth song. So we've got All the Good Girls Go to Hell, and we've got My Future, or Billy's Future. All the Good Girls Go to Hell. So while seemingly about good girls going to hell, the song's true theme is about climate change. Lines like, even God herself has enemies, and once the water starts to rise and heaven's out of sight, paint a picture of a world ravaged by environmental destruction. The good girls going to hell could symbolise humanity facing the consequences of inaction on climate change. So quite an interesting topic there. Whereas My Future, the song was written during the early days of COVID in 2020. It reflects upon Billy's experience of isolation and self-reflection, although I do wonder how isolated a pop star ever actually is. It marks a turning point in her music, showcasing a newfound sense of self-reliance and a positive outlook on the future compared to her earlier darker themes. Stuart?
Right, All Good Girls Go to Hell. Right, I've already mentioned Lily Allen, but this is just Lily Allen 101 in my opinion. Just the way she's delivering it, the singing. But I really like it. It's a really good song. It's I've got a fact.
Okay.
Well, it's a quote what she did really, so it's not really a fact. She was on a radio show in LA, and she explained what the idea behind the music video. It's meant for climate change and global warming and stuff. That was her word.
And stuff.
And stuff. Yeah.
Right.
She said, quote, if you don't look into it, you'd think it's all about hell and stuff. But realistically, it's about the world we're living in and now, and I just had to visual of wings and coming out. No idea where she was going on there.
And she doesn't take drugs, does she?
Because it's on the video, yeah. And I thought it would be cool just to fill the sky into a pool of black shit. That's Billy. It's 16, was it? 16-year-old Billy?
I don't know, 12.
17-year-old Billy. So I quite like this song. It's got a nice feel to it. It's got a nice trip to it. I quite like the tempo of it all.
Mm.
So, My Future, really good vocal range. You know, it's sort of showcasing her a little bit, like what she can do and things like that. But then I like halfway through the tempo, then halfway, just like kicks off and does something a bit more different. And it's just a really good feel good song, in my opinion. So My Future's got my vote on that one, just because it's more. Hey, I want to be happy. Let's go. And there's very little happy songs of Billie's. Really,
That is true.
When you look at them, so you got to cherish them while you get them.
Fair enough. Si, what do you reckon?
I mean, I thought we were going to have another effect-driven vocal when I started listening to All the Good Girls Go to Hell, but luckily, I think what we actually get is a multi-tracked vocal where Billie harmonises with herself on the verses, but then it leans into a vocal effect for the repeated line. So, yeah, I mean, it's really nice to listen to again on headphones. It's another, almost, I think you'd say a technical masterclass by...
About Phineas?
Yeah, I feel it's more of a technical masterclass by Phineas for this one. Some of the effects that he's put on there and how he's mastered it. I mean, we've got a very catchy hook line in there after the chorus. I mean, we're 4-track battles in, and there is a lot of catchiness to be discussed so far. And I think there's quite a lot of catchiness to come too. My Future? Sorry, before we go into My Future, All the Good Girls Go to Hell. 6th fucking single. That's 6th. Wow. As in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Who the fuck has 6 singles on an album?
Billie.
Green Day?
Green Day, yeah.
Another Billie. Another Billie.
It's a fucking Billie thing, isn't it? My Future is, again, something very different from Billie. It reminds me a little bit of You Sent Me Flying by Amy Winehouse. You know, where it starts with a very stripped back vocal performance before almost surprising you with a more jazz-infused funk melody. You can get totally lost in the track. For me, My Future is one of those, like you say, Cath, one of the other tracks is, it's a Sunday, laying on the couch, just put on, listen, lay back.
Yeah.
I think I am going to go with My Future, as although All the Good Girls Go to Hell is more of what you expect from Billie, I kind of like the fact that she's growing as an artist and is doing different things. And
yeah,
I think people should listen to some of her stuff that isn't what you expect her to be. Because this is one of the ones that gave me a little bit of a shock of, didn't know this. She was capable of this. It's refreshing. So yeah, My Future for me.
All right. Okay. So that's 2 for My Future. So I thought that the first half of the track of My Future had a definite evening feel to it, and there's a light touch of dinner jazz that sort of accompanies the gentle tone of the vocals. The singing itself is quite interesting, as Billie sings more prolonged notes with a tiny bit of warble in this track, so that's a new thing that she's sort of introducing. And I hadn't noticed it in any of her other songs so far. The second half changes tempo and has a backing beat and a cheeky guitar to it, making it sound a little bit more mainstream. I thought it was a nice track, and another one that just was very relaxing to listen to and made me want to take a nap. I gave it 5 out of 10.
In a good way or a bad way?
No, in a good way. In a good way. It's a pleasant track, and I feel quite relaxed, and it's nice. Right. Yes. All the Good Girls Go to Hell. Musically, the track was interesting, as it had quite, again, a distinct jazz feel to it, which added a layer of sophistication. The track was reminiscent of the backing music found in some of Amy Winehouse's songs, evoking a sense of nostalgia. It wasn't a bad track, and it was quite refreshing that Billie chose to explore topics beyond the typical themes of heartbreak and romantic despair. But yeah, I think my vote is also with My Future.
Also, another clean sweep.
Good choice. That's a good choice as well.
So, next up we have Wish You Were Gay, and I say that like it's a question, Oxytocin. So, Wish You Were Gay, written at the age of 14, the song reflects a relatable teenage experience of dealing with a crush that doesn't work out. The song explores the frustration of having a crush on someone who doesn't reciprocate the feelings. It's a catchy pop song with acoustic guitar and unique percussion sound made from cracking knuckles. And then we got Oxytocin, and for those who don't know, it's the hormone associated with love bonding and intimacy. The song explores the darker and more obsessive side of desire fueled by oxytocin. This track reached the top 40 in several countries and is a fan favourite for its unique sound and energy. Sai, over to you.
Oh, I'm going to go first.
You're forgiven.
I'm forgiven, yeah. Wish You Were Gay is a bit of a weird one. I mean, it got some ire from the gay community for the time for gay baiting. But I didn't get that feeling from the song. And we're not walking into Katy Perry territory here at all. I actually got more that Billie herself... I didn't know Billie Eilish at all at this point. I actually got more that Billie herself was gay or bi and was wishing that a female friend was gay. But Billie herself came out, as you said, it was said the lyrics were not meant to be offensive. It was in fact there was a boy that she was in love with, but the feelings were not reciprocated. And she wished he was gay so that she had a reason for not liking her, other than not just liking her. Then apparently the boy came out to Billie as gay after the song was released. Nailed it. For the first four...
It just seems so arrogant, though, to think that.
What, that because he says...
Oh, if they don't like me, then they must be gay.
Yeah, it's like...
Oh, no, I didn't get that. Well,
I mean, that's more of a Katy Perry thing than a Billie Eilish,
Yeah.
but yeah.
Because of all like the backlash at the first 48 hours of the song's release, all record sales and merchandise sales were donated to the Trevor Project, which is a crisis and suicide prevention program for gay children.
Well, good on Billie.
Exactly. That's how you do things.
Exactly. Katie, pay attention.
We have hand claps in there. Everyone loves hand claps.
Certainly do.
I also love the acoustic guitar in the verses. You know, we can waffle on about different aspects of it. It's just another good track. You know, which is like, I wasn't expecting this. I mean, don't get me wrong, there are a couple of type tracks, but I think her and her brother hit more times than they miss. And I think it's probably because they know their strengths and weaknesses.
Yeah.
More than if she was bringing in producers and things like that. Oxytocin. I mean, comparing the two tracks, I think they're on the wrong albums. And would certainly be more at home on the other album. Because this is more a throwback to the You Should See Me in a Crown and Bad Guy. I love the backing track, I love the beat, the percussion of it. Multi-tracked whispered vocals harmonising behind her own vocals again. I really love when she does that. She does it well, and her brother obviously manifests it well.
Yeah.
They're an awesome team.
Yeah, they are. They're very good together. All in all, I'm going to go with Oxytocin. But again, I'm not going to be sad with whatever track we do pick here.
Okay. Right, Stu.
I didn't get that vibe from that cat. I just, because I'm taking it from like a 14-year-old perspective, and just trying to find an excuse of, well, I've got all these hormones. I don't know what I'm thinking about. I wish they were gay, because then I've got an excuse then to go, oh, okay, I now can walk away from it. I didn't take any kind of offense. I've written in my notes here where Katy Perry to me was offensive.
Yeah.
This is far from that. This is nothing what in my opinion, Katy Perry did. This is just not that at all. This is just like a child. That's what she was when she was writing it. A child trying to figure out what's going on. Where Katy Perry was a grown woman and she knew exactly what she was doing. It's very calculated in that sense.
I think that's a very good point. I mean, having a teenage daughter, their mind does kind of go. I mean, you were a teenage girl as well, Cath. You know, they kind. I mean,
and we were teenage boys.
Yeah, we were teenage boys.
So
it's like,
it's that mindset.
Yeah, you have to have a reason other than that. It's just simply look, just don't like you. Not in that way.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's not like until you get an adult you actually start putting more pieces to it. And as you say, what was she, 14 when she wrote it?
Yes, that's right.
Probably. Or yeah.
Yeah.
So I can understand all those, and so I didn't take any offence of that one really. I mean, I understood. I read the same stuff. What I think. So I spoke about the being accused of gay bashing and all that kind of
Yeah.
stuff.
Don't say
But
it.
when I read the lyrics, I didn't see any of that. It was just I saw a kid trying to
Yeah,
make sense
absolutely.
of something what went on.
Mhm.
So, and I quite like the song as well. It's like I love the way what have I put in my notes? Love the way the music drops when she says, "I'm so selfish." It's really effective as well. It works really well, that bit. Right, is it Oxytocin? Sorry, have I said that right?
That's right,
Oxytocin.
Oxytocin.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dirty
Oxytocin.
Billy. That's what I put in my notes. Dirty Billy. But it's not really. It's got a really nice beat as well. So, but I like the way she refers to God as a woman, and she's done this a couple of times in the tracks. So it's quite cool. I got a fact, but I don't know whether. So she speaks to Rolling Stone magazine about. That's about penning such sexual tricks with her brother, and Billy admitted. We kind of had to plug our ears when we're writing about desires and other people because, we're fucking siblings. And I can imagine it being a bit weird.
Yeah.
So now I'm now undecided.
Okay.
This is the one song, or two songs, sorry, which I can't really.
Well, I'm sorry, I'm going to have to demand that you pick one.
Ooh, demanding now.
Yes.
God. You can tell she's the boss today. I'm going to go for, I'm going to go for Wish You Were Gay, but on my notes, it wasn't that one. So I've changed my mind like that.
Okay, that's fine. That's allowed.
So
Yeah.
Cath has to pick.
That's what you called the dick move, wasn't
it?
I'm happy to pick. I have an opinion.
What? You're a woman and you have an opinion? No!
So, Wish You Were Gay. I like the acoustic guitar intro into this song, and then the switch to synth pop. I thought it was done really well and sounded great. However, the topic wasn't interesting to me, and as we've discussed, sort of reminiscent of Katy Perry's song, although much, much less offensive. But yeah, I just wasn't really interested in the song musically and lyrically, and I'm sure it's fine, but I just didn't really care for it. Oxytocin. So I'm already into this song after just the first few seconds because it's got way more energy and it's much more danceable. I love the rhythm of the bass and the electro beats, more than the singing, which is pretty much just talking. Although I did like it when the lyrics got kind of shouty towards the end. I can imagine this one being brilliant live as well. So I'm going with Oxytocin.
Good.
Oh, good choice.
Right. So next up, we've got When the Party's Over versus Lost Cause. So When the Party's Over, Billie Eilish has stated that the song isn't necessarily about a breakup, but rather a portrayal of a complicated relationship with feelings of anger and hurt. The song has a minimalist and atmospheric soundscape with a melancholic feel. Lost Cause, the song celebrates moving on from a disappointing relationship with someone who is considered a lost cause. It peaked at number 27 on the Billboard Hot 100 chart in the US and achieved higher positions in the UK and Ireland, reaching number 14 and 9 respectively. Whatever you prefer. It did quite well.
It did all right, didn't it?
It did all right, yeah. So I think I'm gonna start with you, Si.
Oh, okay.
I'm in the doghouse now.
Yeah, what have you done, Stu?
I don't know what I've done.
You picked the wrong song before.
When the Party's Over, I'm going to come out and say it right off the bat. When the Party's Over is in my top 5 favourite Billie tracks.
Wow.
The track highlights again how good and her brother are producing multi-track vocals. It adds much depth to Billie's vocals. It's one of those tracks that I can put on a Sunday afternoon. It's almost a combination of my notes from the last couple of tracks. I don't remember any drums or bass on this track at all. And even the piano was very minimal. It's like really stripped back. It's pretty much her vocals and various recordings of her vocals. Lost Cause has the feeling of being a song from a movie where the two main characters have had an argument, and we have a montage of them getting on with their lives but being constantly reminded of each other. A nice little funky bass, very laid back underworked drummer, and again that word for Billie, catchy, again in that chorus.
Mm-hmm.
The problem I have is, like I said, when the party's over is in my top 5, so is Lost Cause.
Oh.
Okay.
Which order are they in?
Yeah. Lost Cause is probably the more complete song. But when the party's over, it's an excellent demonstration of both Billie's vocals and her brother's production. I don't actually have a winner in my notes at all.
Cath, I hope you're going to bully him into making a decision. You did it with me.
I'm just going to let him. I'm going to let him stew on it for a bit.
I
just agonise over it.
Because that makes great radio. I think I am gonna go with, because we've got so many demonstrations of Billie's vocals and production, her brother's production, already. I think I'm gonna go with Lost Cause just because it's a bit more of a complete song.
Are you sure?
Don't make me question myself and change my mind. Just go to Stu.
Because when the party's over is really good.
It is really good.
It is really good. Spoilers, it's my choice.
Okay,
Cath,
but I will now explain why. Right, so when the party's over, like I've just ruined it for the suspense, I'm thinking that one is the winner, because that one, to me, it's such a beautiful song, and we can all relate to it. It's just really, really sad, and it's just a really good song. The vocal delivery is really good. The bits where you're saying, yeah, there are no drums, but in the what you perceive as the chorus, there's a bass line what comes in,
right.
And it sort of emphasises everything a little bit, but then the bass line just goes away. And it's just piano again, and it's lovely the way they've done it. Headphones are an absolute must for this song. You gotta.
I just have this
Lost
vision
Cause.
of a bass player walking in as she sings and starts playing. Oh, sorry, wrong room.
Wrong room. Lost Cause, I like the bass line. It's like a bit of a trippy bass line. I'm not going to do it because I've been ridiculed for my musical impressions.
Oh, we're not going to get a musical impression.
It's like self-realising, waking up kind of thing. And it's another, again, I'm sorry for mentioning it, it sounds like a Lily Allen song. I like Lily Allen. I'm not dissing her for that at all.
It sounds like you're quite the fan.
Of Lily Allen?
I'm quite a fan. I just,
yeah.
I don't mind. She's all right.
Coming to you in 2 months' time.
But out the two, Sire, you're wrong. Out the two songs,
I was put on the spot.
You picked the wrong one. Yeah. Look, listen, it's on documented record now.
I know, it was so unexpected that I was going to ask you to pick as well.
I know. I mean, what is the basis of our podcast?
So, Cath, what is your deciding vote? There is 1-1. What you got?
Yeah, absolutely. So, when the party's over, so I don't have too much to say about either of these tracks. I think because it's like with any sort of artists that you're unfamiliar with, when you listen to some of their music, it's hard to kind of notice things to pick things out from the new tracks that you haven't already heard. Everything just sort of starts blending together.
Yeah.
And I think I was beginning to get there now. So we're 6 tracks in, and it's all beginning to feel a little bit samey. So it's hard to sort of really pick out things of note. But with when the party's over, I felt that this one had something of a gospel feel to it, with the way that the sort of the backing singers were part of the song.
Mm-hmm.
And I hadn't noticed that before on any of the previous tracks. And I also noticed there was a particular effect that was on the vocals, which made it feel quite creepy and sinister as well, which is quite interesting. So yeah, they're really the only things of note for that track. And then Lost Cause, so I'm totally getting Beach Bar vibes again. I'm not a fan of the way that it's sung, despite the reverb and warbling, but I quite enjoyed the melody and the percussion. But yeah, just somebody hand me a margarita whilst I'm listening to this song. I'm going to go with When the Party's Over.
Good choice. See,
yeah.
Sorry, should have been on the winning side.
Yeah.
What can I say?
Exactly.
I like to be different.
Okay, so then 7th track now. So we've got 8, which is quite confusing. And Halley's Comet. So 8 by Billie Eilish is a hauntingly beautiful song that explores themes of regret and lost connections. Some fans believe the song is addressed to a former romantic partner. The lyrics could be seen as an apology for past mistakes and a plea for reconciliation. However, another theory suggests the song itself is self-reflection. The lyrics could be seen as Eilish apologising to herself for not living up to her own expectations. And then Halley's Comet. So the song uses the concept of Halley's Comet as a metaphor for the specialness and rarity of the love she feels. It showcases Billie's signature hushed vocals and a lullaby-esque melody. It didn't achieve massive commercial success, and it reached number 90 on the Billboard Hot 100 chart. Not that means anything, really, because it's just... irrelevant.
That's technically top 10 in comparison. If you compare it like the UK top 40.
Yeah, possibly. So Stu.
Yes.
You agreed with me last time, so you can go first.
I always agree with you. I'm scared not to agree with you. What do you want me to pick? Which number?
Well, we'll see, won't we?
Right, so 8. A ukulele? What was she thinking? Or not her brother. What were they thinking? I don't got anything really against ukuleles. I've got to admit, and this is a well-produced track, don't get me wrong, it's still a very good track, but it's probably the least favourite on the whole 2 albums.
Okay.
She's singing it like an 8-year-old, in my opinion, and I don't like the bass line, and I don't really like the sound of it, and there's ukulele, and I find that quite corny, and that's just me. Halley's Comet, it's another love song, and obviously this gets my vote because I've just said this. I've just put spoilers on what I was going to say, but it's another love song which is quite rare. You know, it's like it's like a twist on the Halley's Comet as well, so it's quite a nice thing. Very simple track on the surface, but really, really effective when you start listening to it a few times with headphones on as well. Then you start all the. I don't know. They always seem to have. Have you ever noticed there's a lot of background noise of crowds, just like in a restaurant? Have you guys noticed that? Like, there's a lot of string. Like, there's just
they take
for no reason.
They
just
take
like
a recorder
noise
everywhere they go, don't they?
Yeah, and it's really interesting. It's like they're picking up.
Okay.
The piano riff in the last instrumental break is really good, and the phase effect on Billie's vocals works really well as well. I just like the way the sound of it's just a lot better. So Halley's Comet gets my vote.
Right, okay. Si, to get your vote?
Oh, we'll see. Spoiler alert, yeah. I really hate the singing voice at the beginning of 8. But you heard ukulele, I heard mandolin.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know if it's ukulele or mandolin.
That may be my ignorance, though, of the string
It might
instrument.
be maybe mine. It could be a fucking ukulele for all I know. It could be a banjo. But I thought mandolin. The track was originally called See Through and was written from the perspective of someone Billie was a dick to.
Right, well, there you go.
I don't really have a lot to say about this track. It's just there. Luckily for 8, Halley's Comet also suffers from the just there aspect. It's another half-baked slow track. But I prefer it over 8 because the singing like an 8-year-old just doesn't do anything for me at all.
I've just looked up some facts. It is a ukulele.
It is a ukulele
on the track.
Okay.
Well,
that destroys my fucking notes for 8 even more. I've got fuck all to say about 8. Let's go with Halley's Comet.
Right. So I just want to acknowledge on 8 that Billie sings in a slightly higher pitch. I don't know if anyone picked up on that.
Like an 8-year-old.
Like an 8-year-old.
And she sounds
pick up on that.
like a manga character.
I picked it up and put it fucking straight back down again.
I thought the melody was nice. It sounded quite upbeat and positive. But thankfully, Billie sings normally again after the first verse, which is much better. Much more preferable.
I actually thought that she had got an 8-year-old, or she knew an 8-year-old. It was a niece or something like that they'd got in to sing it. But no, it is Billie.
It is her. Although, she's trying new things, so it's good that she's experimenting with the way, her style a little bit. I can listen to this song on a beach with beer in my hand. So this is a beer song, not a cocktail song on a beach.
Oh, okay.
So slightly later in the evening?
Or maybe you start with a beer and move on to the cocktail? Possibly. Who knows? Anyway, it's definitely beer. So Halley's Comet. So I don't have much to say about this song. It's my least favourite so far because it's just not very interesting.
Oh.
It might well showcase a lullaby-esque melody, but it just puts me to sleep. It begins with a very slow piano playing a somewhat melancholic melody. The lyrics don't add any interest to the song, and I would have much preferred if it was about the actual comet itself and the music reflected the wonder of witnessing it shooting across the horizon in the night sky. But no. So I'm going to go for 8-year-old Billy singing 8, and I'm going to use my Napalm Death to make it so.
No way.
Yep.
Wow.
I didn't.
In your
Basically,
face.
Your review of Halley's Comet is exactly the opposite to mine.
I saw maybe a Napalm Death card happening on this episode. That wasn't the track I thought it was going to be on.
Wow. There we go. It's now spent.
Yeah, I hope that I've not wasted it.
Is that your first ever Napalm Death card, Cath?
As far as I can recall, it is. Yeah.
Ooh.
Although, I mean, I don't really give a shit, to be honest. I just thought it'd be quite fun to have the one that you guys don't like on the album.
That's being beyond the curtain now.
Okay, we've both annoyed her now, Stu.
I know. God, what do we do? 2 negatives makes positive. Let's look at it like that. Let's go.
Well, two wrongs don't make a right, Stu.
Oh, okay. Sorry, Cath.
Okay, so the 8th track, we've got My Strange Addiction, I'm just going to move swiftly on, and Everybody Dies, which sounds like a really cheerful topic to sing about, doesn't it? Right, so My Strange Addiction by Billie Eilish is a catchy and intriguing song that uses dark humour to explore the concept of unhealthy attachments. Its open-ended lyrics and minimalist production invite listeners to create their own interpretation and connect with the song on a personal level. Then we have Everybody Dies. It's going to be a really upbeat one, this, isn't it? The lyrics explore the inevitability of death, but also offer a sense of comfort by acknowledging that it's a universal experience. That will make everyone feel better. Everybody Dies features a simple and melancholic soundscape built around a soft synthesizer and Billy's hushed vocals. Who shall I pick? I'm going to go for Sai because he's giggling.
Thanks.
So we're not allowed to giggle. We're not allowed to smile.
Jeez.
She'll come and get you.
My Strange Addiction. I thought it was going to be a movie or various movies that was sampled on this, but fact fans, it's actually all from a single episode of The Office. Obviously the American version, not the Ricky Gervais version.
Of course. Yeah, not the good version.
No, exactly.
That's how it's Americans, they don't like them.
That keyboard stroke synth bass line is again very catchy. You're not noticing a pattern arising. As much as I like it, does it really stand out? It utilises all the elements that can be found elsewhere on the album. It's got whispered spoken lyrics, it's got a catchy melody, it's got double track vocals, it's a slowed down bridge. But on the flip side, if it ain't broke, does she really need to fix it? Everybody Dies is such a slow song that never really gets going and takes a fucking absolute age to do it as well. She's now singing the whispery songs more than actually whispering them. I kind of get that. She wants to demonstrate her vocal chops more. But it just doesn't really work for me. It's just another nothing track. So, My Strange Addiction, whilst not a bad track or an outstanding track, is nowhere near groundbreaking. It's going to get my vote pretty much by default here. So, for me, My Strange Addiction.
My Strange Addiction. Stu.
My Strange Addiction. Where do we start with this one? It's a nice trippy long song. Now, again, Billy Virgin here. So my introduction was these two albums. Never heard them before. This song just rigged Eminem to me. Well, the music, the keyboard, it's like very Eminem-ish kind of esque. Loosely, please don't get me wrong, it wasn't an Eminem track at all. But it just reminded me of oh, okay, I can see, or maybe there's an influence come from there and there, but it's fine. But is she singing about a person or a thing? We don't know.
Is it just her strange addiction to the US version of The Office?
Maybe, yeah. Well, the fact I got, which you ruined, is yes, it's all about The Office stuff. So, yeah, so I'm not going to really go into the fact. Everyone dies. I really am enjoying this, the opposite of what Simon just said about this track. I am really enjoying it. I like the soulful kind of whispery kind of, nothing happens, but it's nice and it all goes along quite nicely. She had an interview with a Spotify, apparently. And she said, this track is a bummer. On the surface level, it's really about how everybody dies. You can't change it. It's just a horrible thought. And it's true. I mean, you die. Everybody dies kind of thing. Now, I have actually got Everybody Dies as a winning track on this one. But I'm sort of changing my mind on the fly here. Because the last few songs. Now I shouldn't be doing this because I'm starting to see how the album, how the album is appearing. But I don't know. I've just had a quick little listen to my Strange Addiction, and I quite like the Eminem-esque kind of keyboard thing going on. So it's going to get my vote purely because of that. I like the uplifting. It's just more fun. It's just fun and joyful.
Right. So that's 2 for Strange Addiction, huh?
Yeah. Use your Napalm Death now, Cath.
Oh, now I've used it. Can I get a second one?
Nope.
Okay.
Yeah, for a tenner.
So I know I've wasted it, haven't I?
Well,
should have kept it. My Strange Addiction, bit of a weird intro talking about dancing. The keyboard melody has that signature cheeky feel to it, which I quite liked. And I quite like the additional in what I assume are vocal samples in the track. And that's really all I have to say about it. So I'm going to move on.
Okay.
Yeah. Everybody Dies. The name of the track does nothing to raise my hopes for a more energetic or lyrically upbeat number. The opening lines of this track, Everybody Dies, surprise, surprise, terrible lyrics, not a great start. However, she did redeem herself a little bit when she starts to actually sing some of the song rather than just saying stuff.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm also going to go with My Strange Addiction.
Oh, we're back to the clean sweep. We're back on the same
Unanimous.
page.
So I failed to read on my notes what it was because I liked the way it opened of Everybody Dies, surprise, surprise. I thought that was
really it was good. Terrible. It's like Cilla Black.
Surprise, surprise!
Yeah, awful.
Cilla Black.
There you go.
Cilla Black has a very strange resemblance to Tina.
No. Oh yeah, she did.
Right. Okay. So track number 9.
Quickly, please.
Bury a Friend. So we're staying upbeat and positive.
Yes.
Versus Your Power. So, Bury a Friend is a captivating and unsettling song that showcases Billie's ability to create a dark and atmospheric music. The song's open-ended lyrics and unique soundscape have made it a fan favourite and a key track in her rise to superstardom. It's become a staple of her live performances, known for its high energy and crowd participation. Okay, and then Your Power. It won Video for Good at the 2021 MTV Video Music Awards and reached the top 10 in over 20 countries, becoming Billie's 5th top 10 song and 3rd top 10 debut in the US. It tackles the widespread issue of the abuse of power in various contexts. So, yeah, very interesting topics. Who should I go with? Let's go with Stu this time.
So, Bury a Friend. Nice feel track. Well, it's obviously quite depressing, but like it's the track, the music itself. I quite like the double tracking vocals. Very effective, I found. Right, mainly, I've got a couple of facts on this one, really. So, sorry, Si, if I'm going to tread on your toes here. I'm not too
Oh,
sure.
no doubt.
Billy explained the song is literally from the perspective of a monster under my bed. So, and to put yourself in the mindset, what was the creature doing or feeling? So it was more. I think that's what it was. It was like more like dreams and things like that. So that's the impression I got from it anyway. So when I listened to the track, I may be completely wrong. Your Power, another slow one. It's got an acoustic guitar intro, but a really powerful song. So she spoke to British Vogue about Your Power, and it was an open letter to people who take advantage, and then she a double quote here, mostly men. The songwriter added that she wished that people would listen to the song instead of trying to figure out who it was about, because like, when she released the song, everybody was going, "Oh, is it because of this guy who used to go out with?" And she was there going, "Well, it did happen, but it's not. The song's not about that. It's about the situation somebody can be in because of."
But is that
You know what I mean?
because,
And I really like that.
Is that because of the Taylor Swift aspect? Because
Might
that
be,
would
yeah.
have been a sort of era that Taylor Swift songs were a lot about her exes and relationships.
Okay, my research failed. On
No,
that
no,
one,
your
so.
research was sound. It's just that's probably why a lot of media was.
Yeah, maybe, but like I thought it was a nice thing. It's just like she was there going, "No, honestly, it doesn't matter. Forget whether it happened to me or not. It's bigger than that."
Yeah,
and I like that aspect of it. Out the two, I do think Your Power is the better sounding song, and that's the one I'm going to pick anyway. But I just think that the lyrics are actually brilliant. It's a really, really good song, and I think everybody should listen to it.
Right. Great. Thank you. Si, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm just going to touch on what Stu said there. I was like, more expand on that whole. I think Taylor Swift is doing amazing work in changing the perspective, and so is Billie Eilish. In the media are, if it's a female singer, because it has to be about a relationship. It has to be about a person. It can't be about the situation. It can't be about a bigger thing. But you've got artists like Taylor Swift, you've got artists like Billie Eilish, and you've got artists like Olivia Rodrigo that are new wave of female talent that are just saying, no, it's not just about that. There are bigger things that we're singing about.
We can sing about other things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think all of them need to be applauded and highlighted for the fact that they are doing that. Anyway, on a lighter note, Bury a Friend. Again, it's a super catchy track. Bury a Friend for me is in my top 3 Billy tracks. Again, not top 5, top 3.
Top 3. This is a good one. It's going to potentially win. Well, I say win. Get your vote.
Aye. It's an almost creepy delivery of the lyrics here by Billy, coupled by a weird effect on her voice. That I can't say no bridge highlights that Billy isn't afraid to completely change up everything in a song either. Does it always work? No. Does it work here? Yes, I think it does.
Okay.
Bury a Friend has been added to quite a few of my playlists already. You would think I know what way to vote here, but Your Power is exactly what I wanted Everybody Dies to be. And by that I mean her slow tracks. The acoustic guitar does a lot of the work here for the first 3/4 of the song, doing both the rhythm, the melody, and the percussion. It's Billy's grown-up singing again with a nice bit of reverb on her voice. And it's also double tracks as she's harmonising with herself again. This is exactly what I want from grown-up Billy. When she's doing love songs or reflection songs, it's definitely a strong song. And not only shows her growing up, it shows her vocal ability getting much stronger. There's not a lot to actually dislike about it. It's still a slow song. It's not as slow as Everybody Dies. I also love that little guitar riff as well. Sounds like something else, and I can't think what it is, but it's definitely something there going around in my head. and it's doing my fucking napper in right now.
Is it in your top 3?
See, is it in my top 3? No.
It's not, is it?
See, like, one thing I do when it's not my artist choice is I still look at what I would probably choose as a Napalm Death card. And Bury a Friend is one of the 3 songs in both albums that stood out as possible Napalm Death choices to me. So as much as
Interesting.
So as much as I love Your Power, I'm going to go with Bury a Friend.
Wow. Wow, you really did have me on edge. Going, which way is he going to go?
Oh, well, you said like Bury a Friend was in his top 3.
I know, but then he started talking about Your Power. And I was thinking, is that in his top 3 as well? It's
an amazing track. It's just...
Yeah.
If it doesn't win, it's another one of those ones where people should go out and make an effort, put it in the search bar on Spotify and listen to it. If it doesn't win.
Okay.
Cath, does it win? Doesn't it win? You tell us.
Right, so, Bury a Friend, I thought the song started with a really good beat.
It does, actually. It's like...
Great start, it's got a good beat. It's another track that uses weird effects on the vocals, which I quite like. I thought it was a pretty good track, and I like the creepy feel to it as well, and the rhythm of the lyrics. So, yeah, just nice how the lyrics sort of match the tempo and the beat, and it's nice to listen to. So enjoyed that one. Your Power, it's got a nice acoustic guitar intro, and Billie also actually sings, which is quite nice as well. So despite it being a slow song, which I typically don't enjoy, I felt that it was actually quite pleasant to listen to. And it sounds like there's some clapping accompanying the guitar as well.
Oh, there's hand claps.
So, yeah, got some hand clap. And I think the thing that has really swung it, so I'm going to go for Your Power, it was not dissimilar from PJ Harvey's style of like her lyrics and songs and things, which is a massive plus.
Wow.
Okay.
I didn't get that from there, but that's awesome.
So, that Your Power wins.
Excellent.
Right, so track number 10, we've got Ilomilo versus NDA. So Ilomilo, for those who are gamers of a particular age, I suppose, now, is a video game, it's a puzzle game, where 2 lost creatures reunite, and Eilish loved this game as a child. The track itself is a beautiful and bittersweet song. Its simplicity and emotional depth resonate with listeners who connect with the themes of loss and reunion. The song's beat is a continuation of the one used at the end of Bury a Friend. A fun fact for you, that one was for free. NDA, the song explores the challenges of maintaining privacy and normal relationships in the spotlight. The song has a darker undercurrent, hinting at the paranoia and isolation that can come with fame. Oh, which one shall I pick? Sigh.
Okay, Ilomilo, really short track here. I think it's about 2.5 minutes. It's not the longest song in the world. She's done it before on a couple of other tracks, but she has a very staccato delivery of her vocals, especially in the pre-chorus and chorus of the track. I mean, I think it's very much a basic Billie track. It's not the worst track in the world, but it's not setting the world on fire either. NDA, also Ilomilo, just to clarify, after our 6th track rant earlier, 7th fucking single.
Oh, okay, right. Well, there you go.
Just keeps on
Crazy.
It's like that's almost the whole album. It's like, because that was what? There was 13 tracks, one of them was a skit. So there's 13 tracks. Over half of them have been released as singles.
Oh, good for her.
What, physical singles?
Yeah, physical singles, as in a single release. NDA, 5th single. She really likes...
only
5, yeah. I'm sure this track has been used in a TV commercial, but I can't think what it was. And I'm sure someone out there knows. I'm hoping a listener will know and tell us, because, again, it's doing my fucking head in.
It's going to be for a car, isn't it? It's going to be a car.
It's definitely got to be about a car.
Perfume. And
the video suggests car.
The video suggests car, does it? Okay, so we'll go with car then.
Yeah.
Google was not my friend. All it did was tell me that Billie had perfume. great.
I mean, we've all got
Billie
perfume.
had perfume.
It starts off slow. It transitions into a quirky, catchy riff. Not sure what instrument it is that does that riff, but it in turn becomes a catchy bass line. After that, it regresses back into a nice little slow burn before repeating the riff and bass line. The final drums bleed into Therefore I Am, like you said. Is that what you said?
Mm-hmm.
It was what you said?
Very Afraid.
No, okay. It's slightly different. This one, actually, if you play NDA and I'm Not Your Friend, it actually merges in.
Yeah,
If it was a Green Day track, they
Okay.
would have it as one track and completely fuck us over for trying to make
and
a
it'd
playlist.
last about 15 minutes as well.
But the drums overall on NDA, I think, are awful. They sound so restricted. They sound so hollow. If they really hit when that bass line came in, it would be an amazing track. But even though it regresses every time, it feels like it's about to hit. I'm going to go with NDA as it just has a little more than Ilomilo.
Right. Okay. What do you reckon, Sue?
Well,
You
I'm
agree?
happy he's not ruined my little not even a fact, my criticism of NDA, but I'll get into that.
Oh, okay.
Ilomilo, I'd never even heard of this game. I've looked it up.
Oh my God, it was in
honestly, I've no idea. So
Summer of Arcade in like
Yeah.
2014 or something.
I was never an Xbox. I was never.
Oh,
an
of
Xbox
course,
person,
you're on the
so-
other side,
No,
aren't
but
you?
I thought it was. But when I've been researching it, it kept on saying Windows, so it must have been released on the Windows platform as well. But I
Bound to
never,
have been.
Okay.
I never heard it. Anyway,
It's a really
So it
good
looked like
game.
quite nice. Yeah, it looked like quite a nice little game. As
It was
well,
actually
so-
released on Windows 8, Windows Phone 7, and Xbox Live Arcade.
I had a Windows phone. Blimey.
Oh, you
They
missed
were
out then,
shite.
didn't you?
They were shite. Nice little bit of reverb on the bass and the drum. Headphones are obviously needed because look, when the bass drum hits, you can hear the little reverb. It's quite a nice little effect. Nice bouncy song. Not sure about the effect on the lyric. Hurry, I'm worried. It's a bit. I found that a bit weird, but it's another song about losing loved ones, which is a bit sad, but it's a good song. NDA, yeah, it's got quite interesting music, and I don't mind the music. It goes through, it goes on, it goes on, it goes on. However, it does the most unforgivable thing, and
Is
I'm
it
not talking about
Is
fading
it turned
out.
into a saxophone?
Not talking about fading out. Not talking about saxophone. I'm talking about an auto tune. No, Billy, no auto tune. I know you're using it as an effect. I know your brother thinks it's really cool. It fucking isn't. Take your auto tune and fuck off.
Yeah, yeah.
So I wouldn't say that because
He wouldn't say that because he'd have to edit it out.
oh yeah, I'm gonna edit it all out. Anyway, so it's Ilomilo. Is it Ilomilo? Is that how you say it?
NDA. Oh,
No,
yeah.
I'm not picking that one. Not with the auto bloody tune. You can fucking write off. I can't believe so. You didn't even pick up on that.
Yeah, Ilomilo.
It's horrible. I really thought you were going to mention auto tune. It was
I can't
horrible.
hoard all of the facts.
Oh, dear you.
I have to share them.
Oh, how could you? It was just like, oh, what are you doing? You've got a beautiful voice. You don't need that shit.
But again, like you say, it's used as an effect, isn't it?
Yeah, oh yeah, I understand. She can sing and she doesn't need auto tune. But
Yeah.
I to be fair, I wish auto tune was used to auto tune, but people don't. They use it as an effect, and it's
Yeah.
horrible. Hate it.
Do you not like
Hate it more than fade outs. There you go.
See,
That's a
I
fact.
think I like auto-tune as an effect more than I like it being used to hide some fucker that can't sing, make it...
Yeah, but you won't know. If it's done right, you won't know.
No, but
If it's done right, you won't know.
that's just stealing a living.
Yeah, it is, but you won't know. However, when you use an auto-tune as an effect, it's like, come on now. What are you doing? You don't need that. It's a shit effect. Anyway.
So tell me about
It is.
Ilomilo.
I voted for that one, so it's over to you
Right.
now, Cath.
Oh, okay, right. Did you actually say anything about it?
I liked it. No,
I like this one.
I like the drums and headphones. It's a nice.
There was some music that was all right.
Yeah. It's got no auto-tune, so it wins.
Stu's found a foolproof way of making our podcast shorter. I like this one. I don't like that one.
I like this one. It's good.
I don't know why Stu goes to Somerset when he does this, but
anyway, Cath, please rescue us.
Right. So Ilomilo, it was a lovely game, and the music is very sweet and captures the feeling of the two lost creatures running around trying to find each other really well. I thought it was a very nice song. So moving swiftly on to NDA, a bit more of an electro number with a pulsing beat similar to her better tunes. Oh dear, where's this going to go? So I watched a video for this track as well, because I was listening to all the tracks on Spotify. Some of them have got videos, some of them haven't. And it's always quite interesting to watch the videos just to understand what they want to convey, sort of, what's the word I'm looking for, visually as well as musically. Artistically, thank you. The video was really interesting, although I thought it was really irresponsible because Billy's sort of in the middle of nowhere, walking down the middle of a road at night, and there's all these cars sort of shooting past her. They narrowly avoid hitting her, so I know that she's quite young, and I think her fan base is also quite young. This is not giving a good message to those people. And NDA was a lovely computer game. Not NDA, Ilomilo was a lovely computer game, so I am voting for Ilomilo.
Well, you got to the right decision in the end. I mean, you could have just said auto-tune and be done with it, but there you go.
I just like the fact that we voted for Ilomilo because fucking Billy's not adhering to the Green Cross Code.
No, I went because she's using auto-tune.
And because Ilomilo was a really nice game.
Which I've never played.
Oh, it's a really nice.
I kind of remember it. I do. It's like I was looking at the images and it's like I don't remember playing it, but I remember playing it.
Track number 11. Listen Before I Go versus Therefore I Am. Listen Before I Go is a powerful and emotional song that sheds light on the struggles of depression and suicidal thoughts. It's a reminder of the importance of reaching out to loved ones who might be struggling and offering them support. Therefore I Am, whilst not topping any major charts, the song received positive reviews. Many interpretations suggest the song empowers the listener with themes of self-confidence and defiance against those who try to control or judge them. Stu?
I'll go for Therefore I Am first. It's a very different track, the last one really, where she couldn't really care less about anything. Just jabs at the media and the public life, because I think she was getting a bit sick of like being, as we've already said before, be toted around. It's just like everybody thinks in her name. I think she had more of an issue like people knew her name, but she didn't know who they were. And things like. And I can imagine. I mean, I think as goes with experience as well. And when she was probably really young, you probably a teenager just dealing with that shit. I have teenagers. I know exactly what they're like. They just don't suffer fools.
Oh, you were one once.
I was. Well, apparently,
long time ago.
I can't remember. It was that long ago. But obviously with age as well, you probably just like play the game and you just like polite and when you need to be and stuff like that. So it's got nice music in it, and I love the use of I do like the use of a nice sine wave in a song. It's just nice and simple. So anyway, that's just a bit boring. Listen Before I Go. Oh my God, what a sad song! What a beautiful, but yet heart-wrenching, horrible song about suicide at the end of the day. Like the one what got me, the last, I had a proper lump in my throat as well. The last lyric of that song is just the word sorry, and the way she says it. It's just, I've got giggles now about it. Listen Before You Go has got my vote. It's just so emotionally charged and lyrically so sad. It's just a great song. Listen to it. Very depressing though, by the way. if you all got those intoners, but I think it's one of those songs. It would help as well, but yeah. Listen Before You Go has got my vote.
Okay, right.
Oh, I almost feel bad for my notes now after listening to the emotion Stu's just
I know he's filling up.
poured into like his decision. So listen before I go. Billy has gone to a back alley blues club. Some cop that has just been suspended for breaking all of the rules while apprehending the criminal. He's ordering a whiskey on the rocks at the bar when he turns around to see Billy on the stage singing this. It's very minimalistic musically, apart from those weird bass stabs occasionally. But the focus clearly is all on Billy and her performance here. It's one of those tracks I don't dislike, but I can't say I'm in love with it either. Therefore I am. So, Billy is off to Stars in Her Eyes, and tonight, Matthew, she's going to be Taylor Swift! The vocal afflictions in this track are so Taylor-like, it's unreal. To the point, my daughter, who is a big Taylor Swift fan, thought this was a new Taylor Swift track.
Ah, okay, right.
However, that's not to say it isn't a good track. We unusually, for a song, start with the chorus. I can't remember many songs currently that start with the chorus.
Mm.
And again, that word's going to come up. It's catchy. And that chorus really is catchy. There's so many little effects and sounds happening in the background too if you're listening to headphones. For me, musically, Therefore I Am is a better track. At the time of recording, I don't think Billie had the vocal chops to deliver Listen Before I Go. Listening to her more recent stuff, I think she does now. If she was to re-record it, this would be a far better and even stronger track. But for the purpose of the battle for me, that's all hypothetical, so Therefore I Am it is.
Okay, right. Divided opinions.
It's unusual for this episode.
Isn't it? So, Listen Before I Go, it's a really simple song with just Billy singing and the piano playing a chord every few seconds. It's got something of sort of a dreamy, sort of relaxing, ethereal feel to it. Topically, also a good song, but musically, it's just not really doing it. It's so simple, it's just not doing it for me. And then Therefore I Am. So I thought it was quite an enjoyable song. I enjoyed particularly the opening lyrics of "I'm not your friend or anything." Damn.
Damn.
I like that. Damn. American.
D-A-Y-U-M.
I like the attitude of the song. And I also really enjoyed the video as well. So it's shot in a deserted shopping mall and Billy's sort of running around stealing food and jumping over counters and stuff like that.
It's a funny video, yeah.
It's a good video. It gave, I was hoping for some Day of the Dead vibes from the video as well. It really reminded me of that, but it was not to be. But yeah, just a more interesting song musically. So I'm going with Therefore I Am. So I'm siding with Stu.
No, you're siding with Sai.
Yeah.
Oh!
I put Listen Before I Go.
Oh, sorry, I got it the wrong way around.
That's fine. I do, but I recommend that
it
everybody
should
should
definitely
listen
be
to
a listen. It's another one of those.
Actually, everybody should listen to both albums. They're great albums.
They're interesting albums.
But it made me go out and buy both. So
yeah, it certainly did. Okay, right, track number 12. I Love You.
Oh, thanks, Cath.
I love you too.
And Happier Than Ever. Because I love you. So, I Love You is an introspective song that explores the complexity of love and vulnerability. The song's emotional lyrics and minimalist sound create a sense of intimacy, and its placement within the album adds a layer of depth to the overall narrative. Happier Than Ever, the song received widespread critical acclaim and was nominated for prestigious awards like Record of the Year and Song of the Year at the 64th Annual Grammy Awards. There you go. It went on to win Song of the Year at the 2022 MTV Video Music Awards as well. It peaked at number 11 on the Billboard Hot 100, and the accompanying music video represents Billy's emotional journey and liberation from a past relationship. Sigh.
Okay, so I Love You is the song I think Billie wanted to do to show the world she isn't just bad guy and see me in a crown.
Duh.
It's a radical departure from anything else on the album. but probably maybe not so much when you consider some of the tracks on Happier Than Ever and now our latest album. The backing vocals on I Love You is actually, I'm going to say it wrong, Phineas? Yes! It's actually him. It's her brother, who's obviously, as we've been saying, has been the co-writer, producer, and all-round genius.
All of the other bits, everything that isn't the singing, although also sometimes singing.
That is literally it. It's everything that isn't Billie singing is her brother.
Yeah.
There's a lot of aeroplane-based sound effects in the background throughout the song as well.
That's him
flying the plane. I'm waffling a bit here. Do I like the song? I do. Is it better than Happier Than Ever? That's a hard one. Happier Than Ever starts and Billie has gone off to Hawaii to see Hawaiian Bruce.
Yay!
And he's sitting at a beach, sipping on a rum cocktail, trying not to stab herself in the eye with the umbrella poking out the drink. She's backed up by a mandolin or a ukulele or a nylon classical guitar. I was really like, what the fuck is this? This feels like such an anticlimactic end to the album. Then that kind of whale sound-esque guitar stab comes in. The Hawaiian guitar transforms into a more electric rock guitar. And then, holy fuck, what a transformation of a song. Why doesn't she do more stuff like this? Why doesn't she lean more into her rocker-type influences? I would love to hear her do more heavy stuff. Scanning over her latest album, I don't think she has. I don't think she's leaned into an aspect of her songwriting at all, and that's a shame. The emotion and passion she puts across in this half of the song is unreal. I mean, her passion comes across in more restrictive vocals, but it's a kind of a different kind of energy. This song's second half is just pure emotion escaping. The first half of the song, while serves the purpose of leading you in for that sucker punch finale, isn't quite as strong as I Love You, but both of these songs would be amazing album enders for their respective albums, as they're both different to most things on the album, and they both kind of leave you going, what the hell was that? I need to listen to this again. It's just weird that both are actually the penultimate track on both their albums, rather than the album closer. But I'm going for Happier Than Ever because it has just a more of a fuck yeah feel to it.
Right, Stu, do you agree?
Well, as what I said on the last one, I was like, how can I follow that because of the emotion of Happier Than Ever? Right, Happier Than Ever, it starts off like an oldie-timey kind of song, haunting backing vocals, which are herself as well, because like double tracking. This is one of Billie's longer songs, which comes in about 5 minutes. I think this is probably one of the longest songs she's got. And it's quite a paint by numbers song. And then literally halfway through, at the 2.5 minute mark, that's when it starts then ramping up. And then I think it's then the emotion, what I was talking about. But I didn't see that emotion in that sense. I saw it as a very muted emotion, the lyrics are good, don't get me wrong. And the subject matter, it's great. It really is good. And it's a good song. So I'm not going to take it away from there. But I just felt the emotion bit was just like overstated. And if you've watched the video where she's stomping in the ground because it's raining and she's just really angry, it's just like, are you though? I don't know. I found it a little bit of not as sincere, let's say. I don't know. It's just like me. The guitar and drums are a little bit too distorted for my liking as well. But that's an effect, so it is whatever. Fact. I'm going to try and get this fact right. It was very satisfying to scream, Billie told the British Vogue, because I was very, very angry. There is so much anger in these songs. Anger, disappointment, and frustration. I didn't really see that. I understood she was screaming, but I didn't find that it wasn't blood-curdling, proper rah. It was a very controlled, for the pop song, kind of scream, in my opinion, anyway. Anyway, I love you. Heartbreaking acoustic ballad. That's what I've put down on there. The soundscape gives an impression of a bigger sound. It is such a simple song. but when you got headphones on, it just has this bigger a presence there. Really good use of harmonies with her brother. Did you pick up on that side? They were awesome. It's like really good.
Yes.
Really
it's
good.
Like the backing vocals are her brother.
Yeah, it was absolutely fantastic. But no, they were harmonied. Not backing vocals, harmonied. And I love the way the chorus is delivered. I'm picking I Love You. I just think that's a better track. More, in my ears, more interesting to listen to in that one. Happy Never, it was good, but it just seems a bit too, I don't know, control. Remember, though, these are fresh Billie ears. So I've got no baggage on Billie. So
any quotes at all that you want to share with us?
None at the moment.
Other than I love you.
I love you.
Right, I love you. It's another melancholic feel, so slow-paced song with a gentle melody in the background. No chunky bass riffs, no cheeky keyboards. And while I'm sure this song has its audience, it's not really to my taste, so it's not going to get my vote. However, Happier Than Ever, the beginning is quite lullaby-esque, with Billie singing away to the tune of a nice acoustic guitar strumming gently.
Bruce.
Which was very enjoyable. It gets a bit heavier later on, which I presume represents Billie's anger about the end of the relationship, but I thought it was pretty cool, so I am going with Sigh on this and voting for Happier Than Ever.
Good choice. The video as well, she really just needs to hire a plumber, I think.
She does, yes. Right, so our final songs on these two albums.
Ooh, you're there.
Kind of. So at this 13th track, we've got Goodbye versus Male Fantasy. So Goodbye is a unique and creative way to end an album. It functions as both a technical accomplishment and a symbolic closing for the listener's journey through the album's themes. It's a unique compilation of phrases and snippets of vocals from all of the previous 13 songs of the album, played in reverse order. So there you go.
Yep.
Also quite difficult to say after a few beers. Male Fantasy. The song explores the aftermath of a relationship, with Billie using the term male fantasy to criticise unrealistic portrayals of love and sexuality. Billie has spoken out about the pressures of fame and being sexualised at a young age. This song could be a personal reflection on those experiences. Sigh, what are your thoughts?
Okay, so Goodbye is another album closer. I know I just said the last two tracks would have made great album closers. And I still stand by that. But this and Male Fantasy are more like the end credits to the movie, or the post-credits after the post-credits scene. The easiest way to explain this track for me, and I think it's because of the way they've done the clips now, is to imagine Billie floating away, and that's the sense I get, is that she's floating away, or you as the listener are floating away from Billie herself back to the beginning. The lyrics make reference back to a lot of tracks, as you said, pretty much all of them, but in the wrong order, be it a title or a lyric, or... I think I prefer I Love You as the album closer, if I'm honest. I'm not sure if this track needs to be here really at all.
Okay.
Male Fantasy, another slow track like Halley's Comet. Not Halley's, it was Halley's Comet, wasn't it?
Halley's Comet.
And Everybody Dies. The difference between this and those titles are this doesn't feel half-baked at all like those two tracks. If you listen now to the chorus, you can hear Billie asking if this is where she should start the next verse. And I love when they leave things like that in a recording, because you actually feel like you're listening to a performance rather than a studio recording.
Yeah.
So let's go a little ask about Face here. It's got a very sudden fucking ending. And when I heard of it, I thought of Stu. It's not a fade out. But is it just a little bit abrupt? Or does it make you think, is that the end? And make you want to play the album again? I'm not going to hold it against it, as Goodbye also ends almost as abruptly, to be fair. As a song, this is far more complete than Goodbye. It's almost a folk ballad that is so popular this year in the charts. But this was written 3 years ago when the charts was more TikTok orientated. And let's be honest, it's a very much a different string to Billie's bow compared to her other songs. Both songs are good, as I said, as post-credit album closers for their respective albums. Both songs fit their respective albums well. But for the for the album Armageddon track battle, there's not a battle here at all. Male Fantasy is much more grown up and much more of a complete song.
Right, okay. Interesting. Stu, what do you reckon?
Goodbye.
Bye.
I find, actually, to be fair,
See you then.
So bye. I find both songs to be quite disappointing as an end of album. Both of them, equally. Just after the journey I've had with both albums, it's like, and these are the last ones. It's like, I understand what you're saying, Si.
They feel like bonus hidden
floating
tracks.
off and then like to go back to them, but it's just like, I don't know. I like to end on a high. I don't like ending on a low.
Yeah.
And to me, they're lows. And both of them are lows, so I've got to pick between the two. So,
which lows do you
in a
prefer?
way, that is a good battle because both songs, I think, are quite equally matched against each other. So, Goodbye. Very fitting name for the last song of the album. That's one of my notes, which is quite funny. Not really a fan of this. This sounds usually not really for me. A fact: the backing vocals in the first half of Goodbye are the same those featured in the bridge of Xanny. If I didn't even get that, so I didn't even get that, but I thought I might throw that fact in there.
There are snippets of vocals from all of the songs on the album.
Whether it's a
okay.
lyric or
Right.
using the title as like using the word bad guy as part of the lyric for Goodbye. And
Right, okay. Male Fantasy, another melodic acoustic ballad. Billie tries to move from, I don't know. To me, this is just a painting by numbers guitar, but there's some interesting bits in the chorus. Out the two, Male Fantasies is the more interesting one, but again, as I've said,
not the best
they're
enders.
not the songs I wanted as my last. They're just not. They're just. I think you hit the nail on the head there, Si. I think I Love You or Happier Than Ever would have been a better battle for the last song because they're just more. Even though I Love You is a very slow and very sad song, but it's got more of an impact. And to me, it's like we'll just leave you going, oh, I want more of that. I'm now going to go back. To me, that these two are just like, yeah, okay. I'll go back to that album probably next year.
Yeah.
So where the other two was like, I'll go back to that album.
Yeah,
right now.
but both of them
So-
end. Like if you scrap these two tracks, both of the previously discussed tracks were like, oh, is that it? I need to listen
Yeah.
again.
Yeah. So my vote goes for Male Fantasies.
Right, okay. So, Male Fantasy, it's another nice acoustic guitar number that showcases the simplicity and beauty of the instrument. I thought the singing was particularly pleasant, and Billie hits her higher notes in this track, which I know you guys hate, but I presumed it's intended to represent femininity and add a delicate touch to the song. I think her songs are always better when she decides to sing rather than just sort of talk the lyrics. And her vocal delivery really added depth and emotion to the track. So I thought it was quite good. Goodbye. All the stuff I said in the previous review of I Love You. Melancholic, slow-paced, no chunky bass riffs or cheeky keyboards, not to my taste. Just to recap. It's a slow song. It's got a gentle melody, but I'm not a fan, so I am also going to vote for Male Fantasy.
That's clean sweet.
It is.
Yep.
Superb. And that is our track battles over. So, Stu.
What an
It
adventure.
is. It has been an adventure.
That was. Wow.
I think it was. I don't think we've ever had an episode where we've had the host, the chooser, have to make the choice as much as we had this time. I don't think we've ever had so many like all tied up before. Like in this case, Cath's had to go right. This is the choice. I think we've always had like 2-2, or we've had a 3-0 before the chooser makes their decision. There's been quite a lot of 1-1s on this one.
Yeah, they have.
And also, this is one of the rarest playlists where it's an equal distribution between both albums. So, one album's got 6 tracks, one album's got 7. It's only because it's the tracks, therefore it's going to be an odd number. But it is a very, very normally you can see the first half of one album normally gets all the votes, and then the second half of the other album gets all the votes. So
it's true.
It's things like that. But no, this one's a very
jumping backwards,
very interesting actually mix.
So what have we got to listen to on our playlist, G?
So on the playlist we have Bad Guy, I Don't Change My Number, You Should See Me in a Crown, My Future, Oxytocin, When the Party's Over, 8, which was Napalm Death, by the way.
Yeah.
For the record, me and Si didn't know that one.
No.
My Strange Addiction, Your Power, I'm Ilomilo.
Ilomilo, uh-huh.
Yeah. Therefore I Am, Happier Than Ever, and Malfantasies.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And, sorry, what are we going to be calling this playlist?
Well, this playlist title is going to be called Happier When Asleep.
Ah, excellent play on words.
Which is a mantra we should all be living by.
Yeah, I don't have.
And that can be found on Spotify by searching for the title of the playlist or searching for the album Armageddon profile. Or, alternatively, join in the Album Armageddon Facebook group where you will find a pin post right at the top that links directly to all of our playlists from the archive, as well as some other shenanigans going on with that ever-growing community there. The last thing we ask you to do is drop us a 5-star review on your platform you are listening to right now, as well as share the podcast and group on your social media platforms of choice. That just leaves us to put a bow on this episode, to tell you that next month we are featuring an artist who has linked to 3 of the biggest songs from Channel 4, and to say goodbye. So say goodbye, Cath.
See ya.
Say goodbye, Stu.
See you later.
And until next time, see you all then.
Bye.
Bye.